say the early bird gon' get the worm. Feel like I'm stuck in line, waiting my turn. All of the L's I took are lessons I learned. Success, it gotta be earned. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they. Find me in the middle of the map, right in the center. I'm a saint right now, but we all born sinners. Take a couple L's if you wanna be a winner. When I think about the beat, it's synonymous with dinner. I've been eating too long, still starving. Sowing seed like I got my own garden. And I'm talking to the king while I'm flipping through James, making sure my cardiac don't harden. Mind your manners, Midwest flow, country grammar, out the slammer, way too free, and I rep my set. Young OG, loves my drug and IOD, prize my heel, my Achilles. Yeah, I mean that it come before the fall. Grace deserving all. My sin had me there, Yahweh took it all. I spit the truth in the booth, shaking lies off for ya. My God, covered in the blood, you would think that I was fangs on Dracula. My God, flip it all around, you would think he had your life on spatula. All ops will get massacred on the day that he comes right back for us. They say the early bird gon' get the worm. Feel like I'm stuck in line, waiting my turn. All of the L's I took are lessons I learned. Success, it gotta be earned. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. They say the early bird gon' get the worm. Feel like I'm stuck in line, waiting my turn. All of the L's I took are lessons I learned. Success, it gotta be earned. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they. Find me in the middle of the map, right in the center. I'm a saint right now, but we all born sinners. Take a couple L's if you wanna be a winner. When I think about the beat, it's synonymous with dinner. I've been eating too long, still starving. Sowing seed like I got my own garden. And I'm talking to the king while I'm flipping through James, making sure my cardiac don't harden. Mind your manners, Midwest flow, country grammar, out the slammer, way too free, and I rep my set. Young OG, loves my drug and IOD, prize my heel, my Achilles. Yeah, I mean that it come before the fall. Grace deserving all. My sin had me there, Yahweh took it all. I spit the truth in the booth, shaking lies off for ya. My God, covered in the blood, you would think that I was fangs on Dracula. My God, flip it all around, you would think he had your life on spatula. All ops will get massacred on the day that he comes right back for us. They say the early bird gon' get the worm. Feel like I'm stuck in line, waiting my turn. All of the L's I took are lessons I learned. Success, it gotta be earned. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. They say the early bird gon' get the worm. Feel like I'm stuck in line, waiting my turn. All of the L's I took are lessons I learned. Success, it gotta be earned. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they. Find me in the middle of the map, right in the center. I'm a saint right now, but we all born sinners. Take a couple L's if you wanna be a winner. When I think about the beat, it's synonymous with dinner. I've been eating too long, still starving. Sowing seed like I got my own garden. And I'm talking to the king while I'm flipping through James, making sure my cardiac don't harden. Mind your manners, Midwest flow, country grammar, out the slammer, way too free, and I rep my set. Young OG, loves my drug and IOD, prize my heel, my Achilles. Yeah, I mean that it come before the fall. Grace deserving all, my sin had me dead. Yahweh took it all. I spit the truth in the booth, shaking lies off for ya. My God, covered in the blood, you would think that I was fangs on Dracula. My God, flip it all around, you would think he had your life on spatula. All ops will get massacred on the day that he comes right back for us. They said the early bird gon' get the worm. Feel like I'm stuck in line, waiting my turn. All of the L's I took are lessons I learned. Success, it gotta be earned. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. They say the early bird gon' get the worm. Feel like I'm stuck in line, waiting my turn. All of the L's I took are lessons I learned. Success, it gotta be earned. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they. Find me in the middle of the map, right in the center. I'm a saint right now, but we all born sinners. Take a couple L's if you wanna be a winner. When I think about the beat, it's synonymous with dinner. I've been eating too long, still starving. Sowing seed like I got my own garden. And I'm talking to the king while I'm flipping through James, making sure my cardiac don't harden. Mind your manners, Midwest flow, country grammar, out the slammer, way too free, and I rep my set. Young OG, loves my drug and IOD, prize my heel, my Achilles. Yeah, I mean that it come before the fall. Grace deserving all, my sin had me dead. Yahweh took it all. I spit the truth in the booth, shaking lies off for ya. My God, covered in the blood, you would think that I was fangs on Dracula. My God, flip it all around, you would think he had your life on spatula. All ops will get massacred on the day that he comes right back for us. They said the early bird gon' get the worm. Feel like I'm stuck in line, waiting my turn. All of the L's I took are lessons I learned. Success, it gotta be earned. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. They say the early bird gon' get the worm. Feel like I'm stuck in line, waiting my turn. All of the L's I took are lessons I learned. Success, it gotta be earned. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. They say the early bird gon' get the worm. Feel like I'm stuck in line, waiting my turn. All of the L's I took are lessons I learned. Success, it gotta be earned. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they sleeping on me. On me. Tell me why they. Find me in the middle of the map, right in the center. I'm a saint right now, but we all born sinners. Take a couple L's if you wanna be a winner. When I think about the beat, it's synonymous with dinner. I've been eating too long, still starving. Sowing seed like I got my own garden. And I'm talking to the king while I'm flipping through James, making sure my cardiac don't harden. Mind your manners, Midwest flow, country grammar, out the slammer, way too free, and I rep my set. Young OG, loves my drug and IOD, prize my heel, my Achilles. Yeah, I mean that it come before the fall. Grace deserving all. My sin had me dead. Yahweh took it all. I spit the truth in the booth, shaking lies all for ya. My God, covered in the blood, you would think that I was fangs on Dracula. My God, flip it all around, you would think he had your life on spatula. All ops will get massacred on the day that he comes right back for us. They say the early bird gon' get the worm.
Alright, and I'm back. I had a little audio problem there for a second. Disconnected from my studio equipment, but that's cool. But yeah, what I was saying was, so we got a new event this week. It's the Ender Saga event, so it's going to be called Heavy Rain, and you can see some of the prizes we get up there on the screen. Pretty good event. 150 Heavy Rain crystals, which are going to be the crystals give you a chance to possibly get a 3-star or 4-star version of the new bot, which is going to be on the Autobot side, Slingshot, and for the Decepticons, Acid Storm, and then also 100 character shards. And then you're also going to get 1,500 5-star shards, 150 total spark crystals, 150 premium combat chips, and also 150. So it's going to be upgraded power core chips this time. So you're going to have a 50% odds of getting the G metal core. It can be either silver, gold, or G metal. So I know I'll be looking forward to that part. So you got the typical event chart. Zone 1 starting at 15, Zone 15 going up there to 40. So nothing really too different there. And Alpha Trion 1 just joined the chat. Hey, welcome, and thanks for dropping by. And let's see, so totalizer prizes. Man, honestly, it's a really good event, man. I said, and I'm going to go do some demos for the bot in a little bit. I really like this bot, but it's just like so much of everything this go around, just because you get total spark crystals, a bunch of those, and they just split it up into either 5,000, 7,500, or 10,000 of each of your types of spark. So your spark, combiner spark, and combat spark, in addition to having a good shot at getting a bunch of different power core chips. I don't like the drop rates for those. 87% for silver, 10% for gold, 3% for G metal, but you got a 50% odds of getting the G1 core for each of those. So hopefully that works out well. And then for the 4-star, 3-star, or 100 character shards, so you can get one of those, 25% drop rate to get one of those, or you can get 100 4-star shards, 200 3-star shards, or 500 premium shards for each, 25% drop rates all the way around. Alright, so newsletters also talking about there's going to be, for some of the top teams, there's going to be a war tournament. We've actually been testing that a little bit in playtest. I'm going to tell you now, this is going to be really difficult for those teams, so good luck. Right now, Dale is trying to get in contact with the commanders of those alliances and just get everything organized and set up. So it should be pretty fun by the time it's all said and done with. I'm curious, I'm looking forward to it, to see who actually wins. I won't be participating this time, but hopefully I can get into a position to actually participate in the tournament next time outside of just play testing for it. But yeah, it's should be a pretty good time. And then newsletters also talking about the 5-star batch. I'm not going to beat that up too much because we're going to talk about that, but it also shows you a couple of animations for the new bot. So that's Slingshot for those of you on the Autobot side, and then Acid Storm for those of you on the Decepticon side. And so it's got a pretty neat ability. So when you look at that, it says raising Acid Storm in an area that blocks healing, and then it increases fire and acid ability damage by a specific percentage. So we'll look at that in a little bit. And then you also have a damage over time aspect that is going to allow you to set the target on fire. So really it's 3 abilities in one. I think it's pretty cool. And Text to Titan went up there and made some statistic charts for that. I'll actually show you guys that on my screen. once we get to the demo. And then, so if you hadn't heard already, which I'm sure at this point most people have, so the 5 bots that are going to be in the 5-star batch, well, we know 2 of them are going to, 2 per faction are going to be, we got SG Jetfire and SG Thundercracker coming to the game because those were the leaderboard bots, along with Flatline and Minerva. And then the developers picked Dinobot and Dinobot 2. And they also picked Strafe and Thrust. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. And the community actually picked 6-Gun and also picked Trigger Happy. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty awesome. I'll be honest with you, I had my doubts about this batch starting out, but yeah, it's actually ended up being pretty good during testing. We'll play through it. Well, we'll look at some of the details earlier later on in the stream. But let's see, content creator page, Sunstreaker Waza got a video out about rating every 5-star batch. So I hadn't actually caught that one yet, but I imagine that one was pretty good. Honestly, man, some of these 5-star batches are better than others. So right now I just left out a batch 4 when I get my 5-star bro. So we'll see where I go after this. Alpha Tryon 1 says, I'm excited about that 5-star strafe. Well, and we'll talk about it a little bit more, but I was more excited about it today than probably I had been the entire time in testing, just because they added to his ability a little bit, and that actually helped out a lot, because they wanted to go. One of the things that the playtesters were asking for was for it to do more reflective damage, to try to kind of help the life a little bit, keep him staying alive, since he's suspended in the air so long. So we'll see how that goes. Earlier today, going back to the content creator, Soldier made a video just talking about Slingshot. I took a look at it. It was pretty good. Just showing some of the stuff that Slingshot can do. Honestly, man, for a 4-star bot, I think this might kind of be a game-changing bot. But I'm gonna do some demo here in a bit. Alright, got some fan art here. Always got some cool stuff in there. And then we get the saga schedule. Like I said, this is the end of the saga, and so that's what we're gonna be looking at from that aspect. Alright, bug fixes. There was a problem with Nemesis Prime where he couldn't be leveled past 20 as a 3-star. And they fixed a 4-star last week, but another issue came up, so those will be going live. It looks like, well, it says went live, but they should be going live tomorrow with the update that they do weekly on Thursday. Dispatch missions, reducing the probability to get a small squad mission in the higher power brackets. Increase the Z Energon payout, thank goodness. Additionally, further increases the Energon and XP rewards for the missions requiring more than 2 characters of the same class. And class-specific missions won't require 5 characters of the same class anymore. There'll be a max of 4. And then we got an upcoming addition to the Titan Tech tree. And on the defense side, they're gonna rename it pretty much. But it's gonna say fire and acid damage resistance, and that's going to increase the defense resistance to acid damage and fire damage. Rework some of the coloring, and they've already outlined which abilities have fire damage on the wiki, and they give you the link for the wiki. And if you still got additional questions, the Space Ape is going to be on their live stream tomorrow at 1700, and that's going to be BST, so that's British summertime. And that's all we get so far for the news. And so let's go flip over to the game screen, and we're going to take our first look here at at, wait a minute. Oh no. Yeah, we're gonna take our first look at Acid Storm. And so, like I mentioned when we were looking at the news, Acid Storm, he's got really, it's 3 different parts to his ability. And so I got this one 4-star, level 10, and we've got him at or level 10 ability, and I got him maxed out on his actual power level, and so that's what the stats look like. Honestly, it's pretty good damage, pretty good health. Yeah, I mean, I like them, and just for comparison's sake, I'll put a couple other bots up here that are around the same class. So when I look at, let's see, so if I look at Acid Storm, all right, so 681 damage, 681.6 maxed out. Get health there, enhanced by the Titan Tech tree a little bit. So right now I got him at 14,000. Now look at Blast Off, and even though it's going to be a little bit damage, I mean, after all, this is a 4-star. I mean, you can see that's kind of comparable to where I got my maxed out 5-star Blast Off. You can kind of see where he's got a little bit more damage than Cutthroat. Not quite as much health as Cutthroat, but you can, and that's the maxed out version that he's already got more damage. Like, so statistically, should be pretty good, right? Just looking at it. But the ability is pretty cool, I feel like, because you can block healing, and I'll tell you where I think this came from. So back when we were looking at ability 11s in playtest, one of the ability 11s that we were working on was for Swindle and Sunstreaker, which honestly, when you're dealing with fire abilities, and I've talked about this a lot on some of my other videos, it gets a little difficult if you got zone heal cores in the area. That it gets a little bit difficult from that aspect, just because those zone heal cores, once they get to certain levels, the healing is going to outpace the damage over time, which is one of the reasons a lot of people don't like fire attacks or acid attacks. So in this particular case with Acid Storm, you can actually block some of that healing, and it's going to work on everything. So one of the questions that I got when it came out in the newsletter earlier was, does it work on power cores? So, you know, when you're looking at zone heal cores or self-repair cores, it works on that. It works on just different effects that you have throughout the war effects. It works on all of those things, and it works on defense as well. So even if it's just regular healing coming up behind the bot, it works for each and every one of those. And then in addition to that, it kind of does like something similar to like what Caliburst would do, where you can enhance damage for anything that's on under fire or acid damage. So it helps in that area as well. So when I spoke to Fabian about it, or when Fabian spoke to the playtest team about it, one of the things that they were looking for was basically a bot that you could combo really well with. And so that's what the thought process that was in mind. So you're gonna have an Acid Storm that comes out there for a total of 15 seconds, and so you can try to combo some of those fire and acid bots along with anything that's taking them, that's under the effect of the Acid Storm. And then finally you got some damage that goes along with it. So overall, I think that's sounds like a pretty good ability on paper. And you know, I think it's about time to test it out a little bit. Alpha Trion 1 wants to see what the pathing looks like. Well, let's go ahead and take a look. Let's get them some power cores, maybe a combat bot, and we'll see how it goes. So let me go ahead and take myself out the screen, and I will give him a maxed out level 20 G metal enhanced in ordnance core. Might not look like it because like some of the images for on the playtest server are really jacked up for the power cores, but that's a EO core. You can see the ability right there. And let's see. I'll do the typical thing that I do with my jets and stick Crater Maker on them. See how he looks. Alright, and we'll just get in here and do a base trial to start out with. Alright, so a lot of the guys that I'm going to talk about today, I got them up here on squad 14, and we'll focus on Acid Storm first. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so I'm just going to drop him down here to the bottom of the pad just so you can see visually what his ability looks like. And so right there you've got the acid kind of coming out, and you can follow up. Like, so here I got Brawl, and I got my 4-star that I'm using right now, and his abilities get enhanced a little bit by the fire buff. Now this one I got up here is actually pretty weak, and I point that out because, well, actually I'll go pull his stats real quick, because what I want to kind of demonstrate is how it's going to enhance for even lower level bots. So let's see what I got here. So yeah, for this 4-star Bro, like, not that powered up, level 5, but he got like a level 20 G metal core to give him the fire damage. So what I'll do is I'll actually take my new 5-star that I got now, stick him in that same spot. So let's see. I'll just change it back. Oh, there he is right there. And there goes my 5-star. I'll give him that same core. And yeah, so right now I got him at level 61. Let's see. But I say I got him maxed out on abilities. Let's see what kind of difference that makes. Realistically speaking, I mean, he probably doesn't really need the boost, but there's gonna be times, and what I'll do here in a little bit is I'll move around the MDS and everything, because that's always the question everybody has when you're looking at a new ability, is how it affects MDS. And so we'll look at that too. I always like to look at everything in combos. I like to look at the MDS by itself, and I also like to look at it when it's under the effect of the shield generator, because that's a real common thing in the current meta. And I also like to look at it with a zone heal. So we'll see how that goes. So some of the other good things I like about this guy, he's got really good range, it looks like. Yeah, so I think that makes him kind of desirable. In this case, I got Crater Maker on him, so it's kind of keeping him a little bit far back. But from the pad, I pretty much, I got a pretty good shot at reaching my my shield generator and my MDS back there. The problem that you're gonna run into is that not much else gonna reach him back there. So I actually got the 5-star trigger happy back there, and this is one of the complaints we had in playtest, because so that range of that gunner is really not gonna reach. So it kind of leaves you in the spot. Do I want to use multiple jets up there? I don't think so. And I don't know. It kind of leaves you in kind of a bad spot if you're going to try to use the combo. So I think that kind of makes them situational a little bit. But you know, that's one of those things that to kind of account for when you go use them. But I'm gonna take him into an actual battle, and I just want to demonstrate some of those things on the actual base trial. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so I can go ahead and take him into the prime zone and see what we can catch. Now it's on the test server, so it's gonna have a couple of different setups up here. There's not necessarily as realistic. Well, this one actually has a Titan on it, so they just did an update, so that might be pretty good. All right, so with Acid Storm, I also like the area of the effect. I think that's pretty good. And this, when you get some of this fire damage in there, it actually helps path really quickly. But man, like it's I put him in a position where the health was kind of so I probably could have put a healer behind him or something, but I think he's pretty good for path, and I do want to check him out again on that against that MDS though. Alright, so we got a comment in here that says Acid Storm has good reach, but Acid takes too long to destroy things. So it does, and that's why I feel like one of the things that'll make it helpful, and it's tough because one of the things that's gonna make it helpful is you have somebody else that has like similar range, and I think this is probably like an attempt to try to make these acid and fire bots a little bit more relevant, because honestly, man, right now people aren't using them. I know I don't use them very heavily, to the point that I almost kind of want to have like a backup. So one of the reasons why I went after Brawl as a 5-star is because, well, he had normal damage, even though with the G1 core that would turn into fire damage. However, I didn't want him to have fire damage all the time because it takes too long, like you said. So I think that you have to be willing to combo to use them, and I think that there's gonna be situations where you want to use them where, say, somebody's using a lot of zone heal cores, but it's gonna be a little bit difficult. Alright, so let's see. So let me check him out versus MDS and with the shield generator. Alright, so here I'm going to deploy him to that left corner. I'm just going to try to focus here on the MDS itself. And what you're going to see is the healing number stop. Now it's still going to show healing, and right now it's still until that acid goes away. And then you see that the healing numbers start to come back. Like now the build bot is going to continue to show its healing icon, but the numbers for the healing actually went away. I also, when I was testing this guy out, got to see him on defense a little bit. And so let's go and throw him into the outpost, and we'll see what he looks like in the outpost. Alright, so I'll take, this is a modified version of my war team in there, so I'll just throw them in there just for the sake of trying to see what he looks like on defense. Alright. So here I'm going to put Soundwave out there, and I'm going to put some healers behind them and take a look at that. And so the healing there from, and I got Reflect up there, and kind of stops the the healing there for a little bit. Actually, let me take a look at that again, because it looks like he still had some healing going on. Take a look at that one more time. Actually, let me use it because I got. Let me try doing it with Impactor. All right. Yeah, I might have to report this as a bug because right now it's not working on the defensive side, and I know it was working earlier in the week, so I'm gonna jot that down as something to check out. All right, and so we got a request to use him on offense versus the outpost bot. So let's try that out. I'll actually run that on the opposite side, and I'll just put him. I'll put him in here with my war team bots. So let's see. Alright, so I'm going to use sound waves to try to pop that outpost. And let me see if he tracks down the minions or if he goes up directly at the. Oh shoot, I never put him in the outpost. Oh, I was supposed to be using him against Impact. That probably is not the best example. Let me swap my outpost bots around. So who do I got here? I got Deathsaurus in here now, so that'll be a better one to look at. Run a base trial with it. Alright, so I got a question. It says, do you think that 5-star combiners are coming to the game? And if so, how would that change things? So, Space Ape has been saying for a couple of streams now that 5-star combiners are going to be coming to the game. I just don't know in what capacity they're gonna go about that. I will say this. I was a little surprised when this 5-star batch released to see that the only combiner piece that they had as a 5-star was Strafe. So I think that there might be an alternate way that they're going to go about it, but that's not. They haven't said anything to us in play test about it. So I'm kind of curious at this point how they're going to proceed about it. As far as how it's going to impact the game, I mean, we've already got 5-star Omega Supreme and Overlord, and I think that that's going to be something that we're going to need for HQ18, honestly. I want to check that out on replay because, I mean, he got Deathsaurus. That's a 4-star that I got down there. Seems like it took him a little bit to kind of damage that outpost bot. But yeah, so overall, it's not too bad. I think this bot is going to be really, really situational. But overall, I think it's going to have its purposes, particularly with everybody sticking those repair cores on the MDS. I mean, that makes things very, very difficult at times. And so that's kind of what I'm looking at as far as Acid Storm and his ability. Alright, so next on the agenda, I want to take a look at some of the stats for this new batch of 5-star bots. And so we're going to start off. I'm going to look at Trigger Happy. I already showed him a little bit when I was up there doing the test on Acid Storm. But actually, let me just go back to my star rating. And so Trigger Happy, I didn't really get it. I actually did a con highlight video on Trigger Happy a couple of weeks back, or was it last week, just because I was trying to see the appeal. But I'll tell you this, after getting to playtest this dude a little bit, I definitely get the appeal. He's got pretty good damage, decent health for a gunner, and a pretty decent ability 11 that allows you to cover a lot of area. And so when you look at putting him up as a 5-star, it's tough for me to go buy in on bots that use fire damage. As I was saying earlier, I think that when you have combos that you can use, like we were just looking at Acid Storm, I think it's very well timed to try to bring in a bot like Acid Storm at the same time as when you got like Trigger Happy, or the same time while you just ran an ability 11 for Swindle. I think that's very, very well timed. So yeah, maybe that's one of those things that kind of helps the process a little bit. But as far as Trigger Happy goes, I'll take a look at the damage he can do in the prime zone. Honestly, man, like this dude right here is a pathing monster. Like every time I used him doing testing, like he just wiped out a lot of stuff. And especially right now where everybody is running the front loaded bases to try to capitalize on the current war effects in the Prime and the Cybertron leagues. And so you're gonna have big bunches of defenses up here in the front. And so like right now you can see, now I don't got an opposing Titan up there right now because right here on the test server, but he's getting pretty, he cleared that whole front section out really, really quickly. And so yeah, I think he's gonna be alright. And I honestly, I questioned the pick at first for him to be in the batch. I didn't understand the community vote for that, but that's actually a really, really good pick. Let's see what we can look like, because I think I'm in the range where I can hit MDS from back here. Yeah, I'm a little bit short. That, and he's got a, I like his normal attacks too. Yeah, and he just took that MDS completely out. And now you look at where we started. Like this whole section of the map just completely disappeared. So I think that that's going to be one of the better bots in the batch. And one of the complaints that came around just several different social chats that I'm in is that they didn't really change anything with a lot of these bots other than just give them a bump in DPS and health. Honestly, man, like I think that with like Trigger Happy and 6-Gun, I think that's gonna wind up being a bot that's possibly gonna already be ready for HQ18, and I think Space Ape is starting to create bots that are gonna be ready for HQ18 when it comes. And they're giving you the combinations that you need to be able to be successful during that time period. I feel like I might be wrong, because at the end of the day we hadn't started testing it yet or anything, but I think it's going to be a good time. Let's see. So another bot we got in this batch is going to be Dinobot 2. I just threw Alchemist Prime up there on him for the time being, but honestly, I don't like that one that much, so I'm going to go swap it out and put my Alchemist Prime on it. Just because I want to see something, because one of the things we were looking at is ways to try to capitalize on Dinobot's ability to get additional healing, through his ability. And so one of the things, I was actually in Text to Titans training chat earlier, and some of the players were talking about using Micronus, and even in the playtest we were talking about like how the healers kind of chase Dinobot 2 just because Dinobot 2 has a tendency to, he follows the pack, so he'll follow all those holograms. And so let's see, I'm gonna give him. So one of the things that I did during testing, like a lot of people, I haven't seen anybody really using Baru yet, but I think I love the power boost that he has, and so I wanted to give Dinobot 2 that damage boost. And so with Baru, they've got him up to 533.5, which is a little bit better than where I've got my 5-star Soundwave. I think I got him at like level 62 right now, so someone comparable. So one of the discussions we were having was would he be like a good Soundwave replacement? And honestly, man, and I hope he makes a video about this, but Deception over, the playtester Deception over there at Scorched, on his, I told him, I said I wouldn't mind seeing one on his channel, because he really did a great job of just testing Dinobot 2 during a war situation. So I'm gonna give him a run here as well. And looking at the chat, I got a question that says, what would I like to see out of a HQ18? Honestly, I'm not 100% sure yet what I want to see out of it. I do think that it's gonna be some new weapons. I would like to see that. Personally, I'd like to see a build bot core that maybe a build bot core that goes against healing a little bit. So a lot of times, and myself included, I just use double healers on everything, and I like to see players have to try to circumvent that a little bit. So maybe like an anti-healing power core, I'd like to see that. Maybe a new power core for maybe an MDS specific power core. I'd like to see more with that. Just because I think when you get more variety of options, I think that's helpful. Because right now everybody kind of just follows and they'll probably follow that meta too, but I don't know. I'd like to see more work with power cores, and I'm trying to think of if there's anything else I can think of off the top of my head. Alright, so just ran him in the prime zone. So I'm going to try to capitalize on his healing a little bit. I'm going to try to throw a healer in there behind him, and then try in the prime zone again. Because one of the biggest problems that we discussed in playtest is that he does follow the pack. And I think that's one of the issues with that, is that we typically want everything to be a long ranged attack. And I think that when I've seen him use effectively, I've seen his holograms use it at a slightly shorter range. And I think that what that does is, I think that makes him really good in groups. So I'm gonna send a couple of bots out. I'll send him, and I'll send Hook. Then I'll deploy some decoys. But one of the concerns also is that your healers are gonna follow Dinobot and they're gonna get killed, just like Dinobot's gonna get killed, or Dinobot 2. And then I started to wonder, well, when we look at something like the Titan Tech tree, one of the things that I was looking at was the range boost on the healers, and will that keep them away? And I've got one range boost up there. So far, I kept them away a little bit. This particular time I ran in the smoke screen, so he kind of took them out. But with that amalgamous core, he survived quite a little bit. The damage is a little low. I mean, at the end of the day, he's still a tank. But yeah, I kind of like I like Dinobot 2, and I think I need to get a little bit more proficient with him on my side to truly show his effectiveness. But yeah, I mean, he's going to be pretty good in this batch, and I'm going to be definitely looking at some of my teammates and my family over at the Horde to try to learn a little bit about him. All right, so let's see. Next, we want to take a look at, and I hadn't done a lot with him, but let's take a look at Thrust. And so here's what his stats look like. One of the things that I don't think that I got on the test server yet. So the reflection up here is reading 20%, so it's actually gonna be 50%. Space Ape already said they're gonna bump that up to 50%, which I think is a pretty significant jump, which is gonna do wonders for survivability. And there's two ways you can go with this. With them being a high damage bot, you can try to use, you know what, I might use Amalgamous on him too and see what it looks like, because it's going to increase both the damage and the health. But I'm kind of curious, and I hadn't tried to use him because I got the 4-star and I don't have him leveled up enough yet to try to use in that capacity. But I do try to use him with certain combos. Like I love to use him with Beast Wars Megatron, just because both of them cause your team to target defenses. I'll use Beast Wars Megatron, and I'll use Beast Wars Megatron too as a wall buster. So I'll run a team like that now. I'll just slide him into the team. I'll give him Dinobot spot. But yeah, just I'm trying to decide for this batch if I want to go for the batch. I mean, I'll be due for, by the time the next Cyber Pass comes out, I'll be due for another 5-star, I would imagine. And I think I'm gonna hold for a second and see if I can hold on to a couple of crystals, maybe go after a couple of other key bots. But as it stands right now, I got a team I'm pretty satisfied with, so we'll see how that goes. Let's see. So I use Beast War Megatron and I just drop the whole team, because one of the things I like to do is get some of that shielding from Beast War Megatron. And try to target different defenses with it. Now with this 5-star Thrust, with the Amalgamous, so his health is staying there fine, and the damage is getting the boost. But I think he's going to be really, really good for overall pathing, particularly when you go stick him when you get a large team like that. Now I will say I put Amalgamous on everything when I'm testing. Realistically speaking, you're gonna end up There are probably some better uses for that. But this dude, and I don't even think I've got the 50% damage reflection back. I think that might put him in the neighborhood of being overpowered, possibly. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, he's pretty solid. And try to double down and keep him healed. I put Singe on him. I put my 3-star on him just to make sure that he survives. Because I feel like a bot this good could really be like a key component to really anybody's war team. And Volcanicus 69 is joined. Hey buddy, what's going on? And I'm just in here taking a look at some of these 5-star bots. And if you got any questions, man, any of you guys got any questions, just drop them in the chat. But right now, yeah, it's been I think I didn't think this was a very strong batch when I first looked at it until I actually got to play it. Then I actually got to play with these guys, and I think Space Ape did a really good job of enhancing these guys' abilities. And I think they made them pretty good. So let's see. So yeah, that's the 3 new ones: Dinobot, Trigger Happy, and Thrust. So yeah, honestly, I'm debating about it. I'm not in a rush to go get that I'm not in a rush to go get this particular batch, but I do think that I will go into that batch eventually, because as I was actually looking at it now, pretty impressed with how Thrust turned out. Who do you guys want to get out of this batch, or do you want to go into this batch at all, or are you gonna hold? I think it's pretty good. I do think that I want to go in the batch 7 and 8 a little bit, but I honestly think that it's gonna be a judgment call. I might wait until to see what the next war effects do. Not really sure. Volcanica 69 says, how good is the new batch? All right, I'll say it this way. What I was telling some people in some of my other social chats before is that I think that if you've got a lot of your war team bots in peace, if you're a war-based player, I think that this is going to give you some options. It's going to give you a lot of tools in your toolbox. Depending on your playstyle, I think this batch offers a little bit of something for everyone. But I do think that batch 7, batch 8 has some better options out there if you don't have those bots already in those particular batches. Like I didn't finish batch 4. I was in batch 4 to go for Brawl. Batch 4, that's still a pretty solid batch. And you say you looking for that 5-star blaster? Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the bots that it was looking pretty good for me too, because I obviously on the con side I got Soundwave, and I want to say that was the first bot that I got out of that batch, and I got him, and I said, and I was still looking for it. When I say that was the bot that I didn't realize that I really needed like that, so that kind of made it pretty cool to get him and to get Brawl, both of whom, well, Soundwave is already on my war team, Brawl going on there soon. Alpha Tryon 1 says Strafe is a 5-star, looks beast. Yeah, man, honestly he does. And I said I don't know how long I left those stats up there for that, but dude's pretty solid, man. Like when I'm looking at those stats, I mean, I've always been a fan of him since the first day he came out, because I was a real huge Sentius Malice fan. I just took him off of my war team a few months back, Sentius Malice. But then with Thrust, I was like, you get the Air Malice qualities along with him still causing a lot of damage and only targeting defenses. That's the selling point for me, is that, hey, I'm not sitting up there hammering away at alloy or energon storage. I like that. So when you give them an ability 11, which was a key point for Space Ape this go around, they wanted to make sure all of these bots were ability 11 bots, so that helps. And then on top of that, you give them more power, and you know, now the combat bots are starting to catch up where you can kind of use them a little bit better. I mean, he really tore some stuff up on that demo, and I was just kind of using them, just playing around, not even taking it seriously. Volcanicus 69 says that he just got the 5-star Ratchet and gave him ability 11. Alright, let me check and see what's going on with my dog real quick. Alright, and I'm back. Yeah, so yeah, that's good, man. I said the ability 11 that I gave up there for these healers is it's alright. And so I actually just did ability 11 on Hook. I actually just did ability 11 on him over the weekend. It's pretty solid. Alpha Trion 1 says in regards to Thrust, give him a 5-star Rotor Storm. Well, yeah, so yeah, you know, give him a 5-star Rotor Storm and wreck stuff. And there's no, you know, there's no bulletproof course. Yeah, you know, yeah, I actually agree with that. And you know, with that additional damage you get with Rotor Storm, you can kind of use that on the tail end when you know, when you've already started, you know, with so we got Thrust. Who do you guys got on the Autobot side? I'm having a older person moment for a second, but yeah, I think that would be pretty good combo. Let's see. What other questions you guys got? Because I've been on about an hour and I'm probably going to get out of here soon unless you guys got additional questions. And by the way, I didn't show Flatline and Shattered Glass Thundercracker. I already got videos out for each one of those guys. So if you hadn't seen them, or if you don't know what they're capable of, actually I'll drop those links to those videos in the description of this video, so you guys can check that out later on. Strafe, yes, I just got finished saying that like a couple minutes ago. Strafe is the Autobot equivalent for Thrust. So thanks for that, Volcanicus 69. But yeah, so if you guys, I noticed a couple of names in there. I've been talking with in the chat. If you're not a member of my Discord already, I'll leave the link for that in the description of this video. Come join us, talk to us about it. If you got anything that you want me to look at specifically, then I will, you know, I'll go into the playtest channel and I'll test that out for you as well. Whether it be in an actual video, or if you just want me to just kind of shoot you a link for it, we can do that too. Let's see. I will Alpha Trion 1. I'll leave that Discord info in there, and like I said, I'll leave it in the description of this video. Or if you go here, I actually pull up my. If you give me a second, I'll actually pull up my ID for Discord so that you can if you can't get to it, then you can actually just send me a private message. All right, let's see, where am I? Game screen, camera. And so that's my Discord info right there. It is Freeziest Max number 4009. And it's actually got my link. That's the same link that I'm going to put in the description of this video after I get off of here. But if not, if I forget or something like that, man, just send me a message and I'll send you an invite link, so we can do it that way. Let's see. Also, let's see what other comments we got. Volcanicus69 says Flatline gets very expensive, and that, you know, he does, but his ability lasts for a really long time. I want to say off the top, his lasts 15 seconds, doesn't it? So let me go pull it up on the test server real quick. Yeah, I think his ability is 15 seconds. And so when you think about it, for what you're getting in return, yeah, it is expensive. But if you don't make that one expensive, it kind of starts to get into the area of being overpowered. And so, yeah, it's one of those things you got to take into account as well. But all right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. So not going to be a live stream next week, but I still will do 2 videos. I usually do my videos on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 Eastern, where, you know, so East Coast, that's where I live. 11 UTC. So we're trying to get on a consistent schedule. This Monday was a holiday, so I didn't do a video and I was really preparing to try to go do this live stream, because with all the new bots coming out on 5 stars and Acid Storm and stuff like that. But do me a favor, if you like my content, go ahead and subscribe to my page, and if you like this live stream, this video, go ahead and give it a like. And you know, like I said, join my Discord server. That's where I do most of my communicating with, you know, other players. And yeah, man, you know, I take requests and everything. But other than that, you know, thanks for joining me out here on the live stream this week, and I will see you guys later out next week, and I will see you guys out there on the battlefield. Freeziest out.